I'm Tyler Reber. I am an MBA student in Accounting 6100, and I'm here to talk about reducing bias. Now, the first thing we kind of need to understand is that organizations are made of people. So if you are managing an organization, that means that you are going to be managing people. And because people have their own beliefs, their own drives, motives, and worldviews, people are going to be biased. It's just a fact, so we need to just understand and accept that everyone in your organization is going to be biased, including yourself. And there are lots of tools that companies can use to kind of reduce the effects that this bias has on the organization's decision making. One of those tools is the balanced scorecard. It seems like everybody is using it. I did a quick image search on Google and found thousands of examples of companies that have filled out the balanced scorecard and are using it. And as it's been accepted more widely, more research has been done on it, and they've found that there's a trend that's kind of reducing the effectiveness of the balanced scorecard, a little weakness. Now, that weakness psychologists call motivated reasoning, and I know you've seen this because it's everywhere. Basically, motivated reasoning is the bias that happens when people are presented with evidence that supports their view. Their natural tendency is to try to confirm that evidence. Whereas if they're presented with evidence that does not support their view, the natural tendency that kind of everyone has is to try to discredit that evidence. So not all the evidence or information gets treated the same or treated solely based on its merits, and we get decisions that are less than effective. Now, there are two solutions that can be used to reduce motivated reasoning as a bias. And those two are, one, having the managers choose the criteria used in the balanced scorecard be the same managers that are also going to choose the strategy and evaluate those results. So what happens if there's a conflict or if the results aren't exactly what they wanted? The same manager is the one that's seeing the problem as came up with that strategy. So when there's a conflict, the manager is going to have to look critically at where that actually is and won't really be biased one way or another because they came up with both sides of that plan. And for managers to be able to make those decisions, to choose the criteria upon which we measure success in the 4 different views inside the balanced scorecard, managers are going to have to be trained to understand the relationship that each of those 4 views have in the balanced scorecard. So the takeaway here today is that people are biased. We need to remember that. Organizational structure needs to reduce that bias for the organization to make logical and effective decisions. And the balanced scorecard is a great tool for eliminating a lot of just bottom line thinking. However, the balanced scorecard can be improved so that it also reduces this motivated reasoning bias in decision makers as well by using those 2 strategies. One, making the managers choose not only what strategy they're going to use, but also the measure that they're going to use to decide how effective that strategy was in each of the 4 scorecard views, and then train managers to understand the causal relationship that each one of those 4 scorecard views have with each other. Thank you for your time today.